Bleeding during sexual intercourse. That's our topic today. I had a friend who had that question. She sent that question on WhatsApp. She's concerned whenever she has sexual intercourse, she bleeds. So, my friend, if you have bleeding during sexual intercourse, it is a concern. You need to go and meet your doctor and consult. The doctor will find out what could be the cause of the bleeding. We have different factors or conditions that bring bleeding during sexual intercourse, and we need to rule out what could be the cause. So I want to give you some of the reasons or the causes why you can have bleeding during sexual intercourse. And the first point is pelvic inflammatory diseases. If you have a PID, it can easily cause bleeding. It causes bleeding during sexual intercourse. What is PIDs? These are the infections that have ascended to other parts of your reproductive system. For example, it ascends to the fallopian tubes, it affects the ovaries, it affects the uterus or the womb itself, and also the cervix. If you don't treat infections at the primary level, they can ascend and affect other organs, okay? So you need to go and get medication from the qualified person. And these infections, if you don't treat them well, they can cause infertility, because if it affects the uterus, it causes inflammation around the uterus, and then it can affect the implantation of your embryo. So you have to go and get medication. Another issue which causes bleeding during sexual intercourse is what we call sexually transmitted infections or diseases, STDs. STDs like gonorrhea, chlamydia infections, they can cause bleeding during sexual intercourse. How? Because this infection can affect the neck, the cervix, the neck of the cervix. It affects it, and when it affects it, it makes it tender, inflamed, and very soft. And whenever you have friction or sex, it can cause bleeding from the cervix. So you have to go and get medication. Another cause of bleeding, and is the major one, is vaginal dryness. If you have vaginal dryness, you can have bleeding, because too much friction during sex, it can cause tear of those tissues, and then you can have what we call bleeding. Now, what are the causes of vaginal dryness? There are very many causes, but I want to tell you that the major ones are the use of feminine hygiene products. These days women are using these feminine hygiene products, which changes the pH of the vagina. These products, they change the pH of your vagina, because the vagina, it has its pH, it has its normal flora, or what we call the good bacteria within the vagina. It has mucus, it secretes its own mucus. It cleanses itself. I want to tell you that the vagina, it cleans itself. It has itself cleansers. It cleans itself. Don't tamper with cleaning your vagina, because there is a difference between a vagina and your valve. The valve is that place outside where it has the moon pubis, it has the clitoris, it has the labia majora. All those are the outside part of it. You are free to tamper with it, to clean it, but leave the vagina alone. Don't go deep and clean. Don't put there the finger. You are affecting. Don't put there chemicals to clean it, make it smell good. It has its own scent, which is good. So you need to do what? You need to leave it alone, because the moment you put there chemicals, I'm telling you, it affects its pH, it affects its acidic pH, and then you can easily get infection. You get dryness, because it can no longer secrete its own lubricant, so it affects you. Another cause of vaginal dryness is use of medications. If you're using anti-estrogen hormones or drugs, anti-estrogen, you use antidepressant. We have antidepressant like selective certain reuptake inhibitors. They affect the vaginal lubrication, and it causes vaginal. If you're also on cancer drugs, chemotherapy, you are on radiotherapy, you are prone to get vaginal dryness. So you have to be very, very careful. In case you get a symptom, a vaginal dryness, and you are on a certain medication, don't leave to take the medication, but you go to your doctor and then consult. I have this, what should I do? Even women who are approaching menopause, they get what we call vaginal dryness. When you're approaching menopause, the levels of estrogen, they reduce, and when the levels of estrogen reduce, we get, because estrogen is responsible for it, or it brings lubrication, skin smoothing, so you get what we call vaginal dryness, you get what we call dryness of your skin. So you have to also understand that. Another cause of bleeding during sex is what we call cervical cancer. My sister, among the signs of cervical cancer is vaginal bleeding. So when you bleed during sex, you need to consult, you need to go for a checkup. It may be a sign of cervical cancer. So that is very, very important for you to know it. Another cause of vaginal bleeding is what we call cervical ectropion. Cervical ectropion, it sounds to be a big scientific word, but it's not big. Cervical ectropion is when the cells within the cervical canal, they come outside. They come outside and you can easily see them from the cervix. You can see these cells. And when these cells come outside, they are delicate. So during sex and that friction, you can easily get bleeding. Okay? So these cervical ectropion, we shall understand them when you are talking about cervical cancer, when you are talking about that, because it goes deep. When we talk about cervical cancer, you'll understand it very better. Another cause of bleeding during sexual intercourse is menstruation. When you may be when you may be starting your periods, okay? You may be bleeding because you are starting your periods. So you have to go and you have to understand what are my days, what are my days of ovulation, what are my days of what are my safe days, when am I supposed to get bleeding. You have to know your menstruation cycle very well for you to avoid interaction of your mind and other things. Even endometriosis, uterine fibroids, they can all cause what we call vaginal bleeding. My friend, if you loved this video and you've really got something, better to like the video, share it, and follow for more videos which are like this. If you just really enjoy this content of ours, you can please go on, subscribe with us, follow us on YouTube, Dr. Pills. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok as well. Thank you for listening. God bless you.